What up, though, y'all? It's Chris. Appreciate you connecting with me while I do my 10,000 steps today. I'm over here at the Riverwalk again, getting around. I love this area because the streets over here, they've got this kind of rustic look to them. Now, I'm not over there yet. I'm leaving the Milliken Park area, and I'm gonna walk down St. Aubin, and you guys will probably see in the background what I mean, that some of the streets over here have this really rustic look to them that I really like a lot. But the topic at hand, before we get into that, go Tigers, man. Go Tigers. Detroit sports through and through. It's a good time for Detroit sports right now. You got the Tigers in the playoffs. We got the Lions, hot right now. What's they record? 3-1. They beat the Seahawks for the first time in a while. So, yeah. Go Tigers. Go Lions. Y'all gonna see me with all of my sports apparel, man, because I got a lot of it. And in time, it'll be out there. You'll see me go through a lot more than the stuff than you've seen already. But let's get to the topic at hand. We got Vivica Fox at 60 years old. This is a woman that I wouldn't have expected her to have landed in the situation that she's in terms of dating. You guys, I was talking yesterday about Taraji P. Henson and Sanaa Lathan, about how they're, in their early / mid 50s, and they got the same struggle about not being able to get a man. And I mentioned that the two of them, though still very attractive for their ages, they're still their ages. And what they're looking for, I think they've missed the window for. It's not impossible, but I believe they've really missed the window for that. It was like when you was your baddest, you wasn't trying to settle down. And so we got Vivica Fox. Same thing, man. Vivica Fox, she's 60 now, and she looks like she's put on a little bit of weight compared to last year when we saw her, or was it earlier this year? But she, the cheeks have gotten a bit puffy, and none of this is me making fun of Vivica at all. So let me just make sure to make that distinction. I'm just talking about what is, so this isn't me making fun of her. But it looks like, she kind of got the puffy cheeks going. So she's gained a little bit of weight since we seen her last year. And, she was saying before how now she ready for her husband. And, I mean, guys, I don't like this for her at all, because I remember how bad she was in her earlier years. She was one of the finest. Remember how I said that universally, Sanaa Lathan and Taraji P. Henson were categorized as, and Megan Good, they were categorized as, universally in black community as some of the best looking women, of us. And Vivica Fox definitely fits into that group. There is a place for her in that discussion. If you didn't think Vivica Fox was just that, a fox, man, I don't know about you. But she's 60 and was talking about she now ready for her husband. She looking for her husband. And just, most guys that's in her age range, they don't want a 60-year-old, Vivica Fox. It just is what it is. I mean, some people will say that she still looks attractive for her age. And, if she kind of loses a little bit of weight. I mean, when we seen her, before, she kind of puffed up a little bit, but just a little bit. She wasn't bad looking then. She just kind of had the chipmunk cheeks. And now she's put on even more weight. She got the double chin and stuff. But, I mean, if she was to come down a little bit, I'm sure she would still look pretty good for her age. But again, age 60, a lot of these successful sisters, they just simply wait too long. They wait too long to decide that they want this. And it's usually, they usually are only deciding this because the phone has stopped ringing. You know, Chad and Tyrone have stopped calling. It's been some years since Chad and Tyrone stopped calling, and they're kind of being forced into this. They're coming to terms with reality. Reality is humbling them that you're not that same bad chick you were when you were in your 20s. This is what I mean about the rustic streets. You know, you got the brick in the ground. You know, the look of the buildings, they're painted over. You know, it's just a really rustic look. And this is only one of those streets. There's a few more, but we won't be going around them this time, maybe in the future. But, you know, Vivica Fox, man, I personally believe that she's only here now mentally because reality has hit her. She's 60 and alone. When Vivica was with 50 Cent, I think she was like in her late 30s, and she was still bad. She looked amazing. There's some popular picture of them together. They're out and about, and she is wearing that dress. She is lean, in shape. I mean, she is still a very beautiful woman, even though she's past the wall. You know, they say black don't crack, and black folks definitely, with nutrition and exercise, can prolong aging better than some others. You know, maybe not the best, but certainly better than some others. That's why the black don't crack, you know, became a thing. But she was definitely aging like fine wine. And she'll tell you herself, she messed up with 50 Cent. She, in her words, put it, she wouldn't let him be a man. And I took that as, you know, Vivica Fox, I mean, y'all knew who she was back then. You know, she really didn't hide it. You can tell, you know, boss babe energy, you know, the whole strong and independent. It was just, she was so fine to where dudes kind of put up with it. But the looks is only gonna serve you for so long. So her and 50 broke up. I'm assuming it was 50 who dumped her, because that's basically the impression that she gives. She never gives the impression that she left him. She always gives the impression that he dumped her. And she's expressed a desire to hook up with 50 again, which will probably never happen, because 50 Cent, since back then, has, you know, he's become a business. You know, where back then he was just a rapper that was, you know, he was on the come up. He didn't became a business. He's legit, you know, a ink, if you will. Guy had lots of success with Power. You know, he's got success with BMF. You know, he just probably not going to be trying to mess with Vivica like that anymore. Or, you know, just, I personally don't think that her at age 60 can attract another 50 Cent. You know, she was already, to my understanding, a little bit older than 50 back then anyway. But because she was so damn bad, you know, it was kind of like, well, why not? But she don't look like that no more. Beauty, age, it matters when it comes to dating. It matters for men too, but not as much as it does with women. So you can't wait till you 60 and then be like, you want your husband to manifest now all of a sudden, when you 60 years past the wall. It just don't work that way. And men, we say this, and a lot of times it's categorized as misogyny, sexism. It's not. It's just men being honest, because for the longest time, these are the things that men thought but never would say. And now men are a lot more vocal about these things. And it does ruffle some feathers. Some women get it. I think initially most women hear this stuff and it's jarring. They don't like what's being said. It ruffles their feathers and they're immediately dismissive of it. I think that's what most do. But then you have a large percentage, I'd say about half of those that are outraged. They come around to it. They like, you know, I can see that. Because they really think about it from the male perspective, when you explain to them male dating strategies and the things that men prefer in women and how most of the things that men value in women expire with age, when you break that down for them, they become less outraged and they're more accepting of it because they never had anybody break it down. But then you have the other half that when the outrage subsides, they become dismissive and angry about it. Hello, ladies. They become dismissive and angry about it. And, you know, they start to be like, well, no, that's not true. You guys just hate women and all this sort of stuff. And that's just not the case. We do not hate women. I think a person who cares about you is always going to be honest. They're not going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to tell you the truth about stuff. So people being around you telling you, no, that's not the case, they don't love you like that. All right. People around Vivica, I think, were largely yes men and yes women. And you could tell in her strong and independent moments, she wasn't going to be taking no counsel from anybody anyway. You can just tell that she was that type of person. And now she's found herself where she's like grandma age and still never been married, and I don't think has kids either. I'm not sure about that. You guys will have to check into that for me, but I'm not so sure that she got kids either. But she's like grandma age, talking about she looking for her husband. You like 40 years past where you should have been looking for a husband. I'm not saying she should have got married at 20, but at 20 should have been like when you started looking for a husband. Mid-20s should have been like, hey, let me get married. 28, something like that. I mean, that's, by then, that should have been the cutoff. Like, you need to get married. But she prioritized her career. She prioritized, businesses. And that's fine. I have no issue with that. You guys have heard me say before, I have no issue with that. Chase after the bag. Just understand that there's a trade-off with that. And it's usually going to be you finding some sort of companion, because the men that are your age, they're not checking for you anymore. They looking for younger, and the reason why is because they want a guy that's as successful as them, if not more. And those guys that are successful, they're not checking for a 60-year-old woman to enjoy life with. They want some woman that's younger. Right? They're gonna go get some 25, 30-year-old to really live their best life with. They've been grinding for years. Get back to walking. They've been grinding for years, chasing the bag hard, and now they're kind of, in their retirement. They don't have to work 80, 90-hour weeks anymore because they've put in so much work to lay the foundation where they can now work 5-hour weeks. I think that's a book, by the way. The 4-hour work week or the 5-hour work week, one of those. But they put in enough sweat equity doing those 90-hour work weeks to where they can now do 5-hour work weeks and the business take care of them. So they're not interested in an older woman that's kind of, and again, this isn't anything to insult anybody, but just kind of slower, a bit more fussy, really set in her ways. Because women that are that age, they're very stuck in their ways, just like men are. A man that's 60 years old, he's stuck in his way. You are not bending him on anything. We can't both be stuck in our ways. Somebody has to bend. So you don't want another woman that's going to be just as stubborn as a mule like you are. You're going to want a woman that's friendlier, more submissive, and more willing to get on board with your program. A younger woman is going to be more willing to do that for a few reasons. I mean, simply, the younger woman, she hasn't experienced nearly as many bad breakups. So she's not carrying all of that negative baggage into the situation with you. Where older women will, an older woman will rather. Older women will. So there's just that reality now that she's faced with. She was on some show recently and she talking about she's still available, for dating and whatnot. And boy, man, it's not looking like she getting too many takers. Which, if you guys would have asked me about Vivica in 2000, I mean, for real, in 2000, If somebody would have came and told me, forget you guys asking, if somebody would have just came and told me back in 2000 that skipped to 2024 and this would have been the situation that Vivica Fox was in, I never would have believed you, man. Girl was so fine and at the height of her powers in terms of, you know, S&V. I just never would have expected that this would have been the case for her, but here we are. Vivica Fox, man, 60 years old, still trying to find a man. It's a really sad situation. So this isn't me making fun of her, man, because I don't really like kicking people while they down. I don't really like making fun of people pain and suffering. You know, she puts on a good face, like, you know, she's taking it in stride, but I know this got to be eating away at her, because you're 60, no kids, no man. That's just got to be eating away at her, man. So I'm not about to sit up here and make fun of her pain. It's a situation that's really unfortunate, because she played her hand the way that she did, and you know, this is the end result of it. I appreciate y'all connecting with me as always. Subscribe, thumbs up this video, leave me them comments, leave me them book comments. Even if it's not on this video, leave me one of them book comments on one of my other videos, because y'all know I appreciate that. I'll holler at y'all. Peace.